Good morning, friends. Welcome to VVSM Academy. This is a special program for Sslc Puc degree question papers, especially solving question papers in science and mathematics. Today, I would like to solve some of the biological concepts, the important questions in 10th standard SSLC or PUC or even degree is a reference study. Reproduction. Do you know, friends, what is reproduction? Reproducing the original thing. It may be a living thing or a non-living thing. That is reproduction. But in biological science, we are studying very important concepts, the plant and animal kingdom, where asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, biological reproduction. It is a biological process by which a new individual of the same species are produced. It is essential for the survival of the species in the nature. So another important thing is DNA. The abbreviation stands for DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is a very important thing. It acts as a predominant role in biochemistry. During cellular reproduction, DNA duplication occurs followed by creation of an individual cellular apparatus, cellular organisms. The process of DNA copying is not accurate, but resulting in various arising during reproduction, which is the basis for evolution of life on the planet Earth, my dear friends. Some of the variations may or may not be beneficial for the individuals, but it helps us in the survival of species during adverse conditions. Depending on their body design, the modes of the reproduction differ in different organisms. Reproduction is broadly divided into asexual and sexual reproduction, my dear friends. So, asexual reproduction. This asexual reproduction is a biological process are classified broadly into binary fission. This fission may be binary or multiple fission. Then in plant life, budding, fragmentation, sporulation, vegetative propagation. Well, friends, the vegetative propagation is further divided into natural and artificial. Natural is that root, stem and leaf. Root system, shoot system and the leaf. And coming to the artificial reproduction, that is asexual reproduction, by cutting, grafting, layering, tissue culture in the modern agricultural technology. Well, friends, this fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation and spore formation are various modes of asexual reproduction. As I told you, fission occurs in unicellular organisms like bacteria and protozoa. You see here, bacteria and protozoa. Amoeba is a single-celled organism. Bacteria. If you observe the important things, the key points to be remembered in the asexual reproduction is living organism, fission, it may be binary or multiple, spore budding, regeneration, vegetative propagation and all is a very important. Now, fission occurs in unicellular organisms like bacteria and protozoa, as I told you, through the simple cell division. Simple cell division is nothing but the division of cells. You see here the cell, single celled organism, this is amoeba, is further divided into this daughter cells. Similarly, this is in amoeba. Similarly, in bacteria, these are the two daughter cells. Similarly, during cell division, you see these two, it undergoes cell division and gives two daughter cells. In case of Hydra, tiny bump appears on the parent Hydra, then it develops in the form of a bud. This bud grows and bud breaks off to become independent Hydra here, the breaking, budding and breaking. So these are the very important concepts of reproduction. Coming to the plant asexual, this is all about asexual only. Plant asexual reproduction, stems that serve as a food storage, conducting rhizomes, bulbs, cones and tubes, onion, garlic, potato, etc. So these are the very important things in the asexual reproduction. You know that in higher multicellular organisms, since they have a complex and carefully organized body structure, multicellular organisms, reproduction is brought by a single specialized cell type that is capable of proliferating and forming all other cell types of the body. Regeneration is formed in many completely differentiated simple organisms like Hydra and Planaria. If you observe, this is the figure. In this one, the Hydra, how it regenerates, that is, how it reproduced, that is called asexual reproduction. Certain organisms like Hydra reproduce buds on their body surface which mature into new individuals and separate from the parent body. This is already discussed about the parent body, how it come out from the parent body. Coming to the vegetative propagation is used by many plants, especially those incapable of producing seeds. In the asexual reproduction of plants, plant origin, new plants are produced from roots, stems, or leaves of parent plant. This reproductive method is widely used by plant breeders. Vegetative reproduction is mainly classified as a leaf, stem, root, bulb, etc. That is, leaf is bryophyllum, stem is potato, for example, root is sweet potato, and bulbs are onion. This is the bryophyllum leaf. This is onion. This is potato. So how does binary fission differ from multiple fission? There is a question for you. Binary fission, it is a simple kind of division which formates new individual. In binary fission, a single cell divides into two equal halves, but it is possible only with very simple single cell kind. Amoeba and bacteria divide by binary fission. We have already discussed in the previous slide. So in fission, differentiate between the binary fission and multiple fission. Binary fission, one cell split into two equal halves during the cell division, for example, bacteria. And coming to the multiple fission, here one organism divided into many daughter cells simultaneously, example, yeast. So this is binary fission is the process through which the asexual reproduction happens in bacteria. Organism becomes two independent organisms. Binary fission is also describes about the duplication of humans in eukaryotes, mitochondria and other organelles, but reproduced via binary fission before mitosis. So the cell has simple organelles. These are the steps involved in the binary fission. All the organisms in the domains Archaea and Bacteria reproduce asexually through binary fission. By far, bacteria account for the most populous organisms on the planet. The process of binary fission is a very stable one, and because bacteria have a very simple genome, there are relatively few mutations in prokaryotes as compared to eukaryotes. Eukaryotes must undergo many cell divisions before gametes can be produced for sexual reproduction. Therefore, many more mutations can be introduced before offspring are created. Bacteria will go through the steps listed above as they proceed through binary fission. However, there are many variations of this scheme that have evolved in the different lines of bacteria. For instance, the bacteria Bacillus subtilis is a bacteria that exists in the soil and in gut of some mammals, including humans. This bacteria can divide equally, creating two relatively identical cells, or it can create a much smaller division which acts as a spore. This endospore is much more resilient than its larger counterpart and can travel through an animal or the environment to new locations, or simply survive until favorable conditions return. Bacteria also exhibit variance in the ways in which they elongate, divide. Some bacteria extend at the far end, while others grow from the middle outward. So this is very important in the binary fission in bacteria. Sexual reproduction and all we will take in the next forthcoming classes, my dear friends. Thank you for listening. Like, share and subscribe. This is VVSM Academy special classes of biology called 96382848. I am Veerabandreya Demaya.